Hello YouTube family, welcome back to my channel and happy Eclipse month. This month has been extra healing and transformative, and I hope that you have all been enjoying the process of all of these shifts taking place. And in this video I'm going to talk about the upcoming new moon solar eclipse, which is happening on September 21st or 22nd depending on where you live. And in Vedic astrology, this new moon is happening in Virgo, being eclipsed by Ketu in Leo. So there are both of those zodiac signs having a big impact on this solar eclipse. And I'm going to talk about some of my Vedic insights and channeled insights as well. And I'll talk a bit about the nakshatras or the stars that are also impacting this solar eclipse. So yeah, stay tuned for some of my insights. This new moon, new chapter, new beginning in our life is happening in the sign of Virgo. So we are all being called to step into more Virgo related themes, which we all have Virgo somewhere in our chart. Really important you have a look into which house you have Virgo at this time, and also Leo, which I'll get into in a minute. But firstly, with the Virgo new moon, where you have Virgo in your chart, which house, and if you have any planets being in Virgo or aspected by Virgo, that will tell you what is specifically happening for you and what areas of your life are being lit up at this time for more purification, detoxification, organization, more structure, more fine planning and tuning and detailing in your life. Virgo is all about those themes, and Virgo ultimately wants us to be pure and healed and connected to ourselves and more calm and more stable, more secure, more grounded. Virgo is an earth sign which is wanting that groundedness, which comes through consistency, routine, putting in the necessary actions to create a structured lifestyle. And Virgo rules the 6th house, which is all about our daily routines, our habits, and our lifestyle, because what you do consistently on a day-to-day basis does determine what you're creating in your life and manifesting. And it's like those little things that you do each day that actually add up and make a big impact in your life, and Virgo really teaches us that. And so this new start, this new chapter, this new moon is really calling us to set new intentions for our structure in our life, for creating a really holistic and balanced and purified daily routine, lifestyle sort of change and upgrade and fine-tuning in this time. And so for this new moon, a powerful thing to do is to maybe rewrite and revisit your morning routine. If you have a morning routine or a nighttime routine, I recommend having both. They're so helpful when you have something to go by, and also not being so hard on yourself if you don't do every single thing meticulously, especially if you're a woman. We go through cycles of energetic shifts and changes. We go with those ebbs and flows of the moon cycle, which means sometimes, like when we have our periods, we literally don't have the energy to do things, even though we are forced to in this society. Ideally, we would be resting and recharging and completely just, not using our energy in the external ways or means, which is what this new moon phase is about, is being more introspective for all of us, man or woman, because we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, no matter what gender you are. The new moon is a time to be more introspective. It's when the energy is completely just like going within. And yeah, it's a really great time to meditate, to slow down, to be in stillness and silence, to really listen to the consciousness of the stars and the moon in this time, and Ketu as well. Ketu is in Leo, which is eclipsing this new moon. The Ketu in Leo eclipsing this new moon is really emphasizing how important Leo is, just as much as Virgo, in this new moon cycle, this new moon solar eclipse. So for each of you, really pay attention to where you have both Virgo and Leo in your birth chart. So those two houses are really calling for you to pay attention to in this time. And Ketu in Leo is really wanting us all to embody the most evolved expression of Leo, and to release any attachments, anything limiting us from embodying that most evolved version and expression of Leo. And when you're not embodying the most evolved expression, it is more of the shadow traits of Leo that come through us. And so some of these themes are with Leo, because Leo is ruled by the sun, and it's all about being confident and shining your light brightly and being seen, being expressive, being joyful, being creative, enjoying your life. It's about play and romance and connecting with your inner child. So the shadow traits is basically the opposite of all of that. Instead of being confident and shining your light, maybe you're dimming away, you're shutting yourself out from the world, you're isolating, maybe you're not connected to fun and joy and play, maybe it's being too confident, maybe it's being arrogant, being prideful, not being considerate of others, and not seeing yourself in the community but being above everyone, and being too much in that as well is a possibility. Like there's so many levels to being like over expressive of that energy, or being under expressive, and it needs to be balanced and healed in some area of your life. And if it is over or under these habits, patterns, belief systems, concepts that you have about yourself and about life to do with that Leo energy, is somehow blocking your happiness and your connection to your soul, because Leo is ruled by the sun, which is our soul, our inner light, and shining that and being truly, authentically free to express and have fun and have play and enjoy your life. And that is honestly a big theme that has been coming up for me with these eclipses, is just remembering the importance of joy and play and laughter and dancing and expressing and creating. Venus is also with Ketu in Leo at the time of this solar eclipse, so this new beginning is completely shifting and transforming all matters to do with Venus, our heart, love, relationships, which starts with our relationship to ourselves, and then the friendships, connections, and relationships in our life will mirror and reflect back to us how healed and healthy our relationship is with ourselves. And Venus isn't as of a harmonious energy in Leo, because Venus is wanting peace, harmony, balance in connections, and co-connecting, co-creating with others, and having that peace and balance and harmony. Leo is more about making sure that you are being seen, heard, respected. And so this is some themes that can come up at this time of this solar eclipse, is having a look at where we haven't been maybe respected or validated or appreciated, or just maybe taken for granted, or there hasn't been enough balance and give and take in connections and relationships. This can come up, but also the need for us to really honor and respect and appreciate and validate our own selves is really what is the most important thing. And just embodying that connection to ourselves and to our own heart, and knowing that the external will reflect and mirror that back to us once we fully embody that within. And of course, like, if you are being disrespected, it's important to stand your ground and have boundaries, and Venus in Leo will give you that strength to say the necessary things, to speak up, to have the confidence to put those boundaries in place, to stand your ground, to have that confrontation if necessary. Venus and Ketu is wanting to clear things up that are keeping us trapped in relationship and friendship and connections in our life that aren't serving us. And Venus in Leo is wanting us to really respect and honor ourselves, and to show up and do the things that we want to do that make our heart feel fulfilled, and the creative things that we want to do those things, to express ourselves, to dance, to have fun, to enjoy ourselves, like the things that bring our true heart and our soul joy and fulfillment, not the temporary pleasures that are not benefiting your soul, but the true deep soul fulfilling activities. This is the time to really set the intention to do more of those things, and to start doing those things, and ask yourself, like, are there any limiting beliefs that are holding you back from being able to do those things? Because I know that I have this belief system that I've developed through childhood that I know so many others also have as well, and it's about feeling guilty for actually enjoying your life and having fun, because life is hard and you're supposed to be responsible, it's supposed to be serious, but joy is such a high vibration that is so essential actually to aim to be in regularly, as much as you can, consistently, because we're supposed to be happy, we're supposed to enjoy our life, because when we are living and acting out of our joy and our passion, that is when we are in true alignment. So yeah, just reflect on if you have any limiting beliefs that are blocking your heart from really experiencing life, and maybe from experiencing love and intimacy and joy and fun and play. And yeah, Leo also rules romance, Leo rules creativity, Leo is about performing and expressing yourself authentically as well. This eclipse cycle is bringing up the theme of us, our individual selves, versus other people, versus the world and the collective. Because us, or our individual self, is the Leo energies of Ketu in Leo and Venus in Leo. Our individual self, and being self-centered in the highest, most evolved way of really honoring and respecting ourselves, and being sure of ourselves, and being strong in our sense of ourself and our identity, amongst all of our connections with other people, with our friendships, partnerships, business partnerships, relationships, with all of the connections in our life, the close connections. And then also how that impacts the world. So with Virgo, it's this higher sense of cause or duty or purpose of being of service to others in some way. So that Leo energy is calling for us to really listen to our heart and our soul and follow our passions, because that leads to our purpose. But the Virgo is wanting us to really make sure we're actually expressing and taking those necessary actionable steps, the harder, more maybe boring day-to-day things that are required of those themes to do with like being consistent and hard work and devotion to what you know you need to be doing. And then with the Leo, being confident and courageous to express yourself and to really shine your light and to follow your heart and to listen to your heart and your soul. And then with the previous lunar eclipse, which was in Aquarius, this is the part where it's us versus others versus the entire world, the entire collective humanity at large, because Aquarius is a visionary, and the last lunar eclipse was reminding us that we all do have that potential, because we all have Aquarius somewhere in our chart, to have these futuristic visions and ideas and insights of what will better serve our world and our collective. And it's about really honoring that as well and doing what we can for humanity. And some of us are more Aquarian than others, but we all have Aquarius somewhere, and Aquarius wants us to be our most authentic selves, no matter what the world says about us, no matter if we fit in or not, no matter if that is approved or liked even by the world. It's so important for us to embrace our authenticity. And because Venus is so big in this new moon solar eclipse chapter, authenticity is the highest frequency of love. And just in general, I believe authenticity is the highest frequency over love. But the most important aspect of love as well is authentic love, because otherwise there's just no point. And that is something to really reflect on with this solar eclipse, is are you loving from an authentic place with all of the connections in your life, and especially with yourself. A life lesson that tends to come up with Virgo and Uttara Falguni is this imbalance in relationship dynamics, to do with things like not having strong enough boundaries or overgiving of yourself, being codependent, things like that. And K2 and Venus, both in Leo at this time of this solar eclipse, is really wanting us to dissolve any of those false and outdated narratives that we've been living and that aren't serving us anymore. So really pay attention to any experiences or conversations or just things that may come up this entire month of September that may be trying to show you something, to try and wake you up to some sort of pattern that may need to be dissolved. And a lot of this is to do with our ego taking place and us really needing to let go of either pride or to validate ourselves and not be looking for external validation, because true confidence, which is what the high evolved form of Leo is really knowing who you are and not needing any external love or appreciation or validation at all. Like, you are so overflowing with love for yourself that you don't need it. It's just that the external is reflecting back to what is already within you, and you're not seeking it or pulling for it or searching for it either. You're just embodying it and overflowing with it, and it's just radiating out from you and back to you. And I do feel that that is a theme that has been coming up, is just really honoring yourself and making the space for yourself, validating yourself and your inner child, and really trusting that no matter what the world is reflecting back to you, because sometimes when you're in that space, you're also gonna trigger the external world. Or, you know, also the more that you kind of love yourself and you invest in yourself, you look after yourself, you show yourself that love, you're going to inspire other people, and you're going to be definitely respected and looked up to by certain people, but you're also going to trigger other people's insecurities and wounds and traumas, because you're trying unconsciously or consciously to awaken them to their truth, which is authentic love as well. So just trust that whatever you're attracting in your external, it shouldn't matter, and not to be too influenced or swayed by the reactions of the external world, and being in your center. And yeah, that is a big part of eclipse energies, because there is a lot happening in the external with eclipses. There's a lot of change taking place. There can be like a lot of kind of storms brewing before the rainbow emerges. So the more centered you are, the more you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way, good or bad, or nothing is bad, it's all just experience, but you'll just be able to just sort of flow with all of it. One last thing I really wanted to mention is the previous lunar eclipse, which was in Aquarius in Purva Bhadrapada, which is very otherworldly energy, because this star is part Aquarius, part Piscean, and both of those two signs are about getting insights and messages from the divine. And in Purva Bhadrapada, the symbol is the funeral bed, which really emphasizes how it's connecting with this otherworldly energy. Like, after you die, the insights, the wisdom, the visions and the messages and the understanding that you get beyond this earthly existence is what is contained in that star, and what we started this eclipse cycle with. So there is those otherworldly, subconscious, mystical experiences and understandings and wisdom. And then this new moon solar eclipse happening in Uttara Falguni is symbolized by the bed, the earthly bed that we sleep on, the back legs of this bed. So it's like really mastering this earthly existence and creating and manifesting and materializing from that previous lunar eclipse the visions and the insights and the wisdom, the ideals that we have in our head, in our mind, in our sort of, our visionary grand ideas and hopes and dreams, which is so Aquarius, really bringing them down to reality. Virgo is giving us the strength and the sort of devotion, the discipline, the consistency, all of these themes that we need to help us integrate our visions down into reality and actually make things happen and materialize them. And with K2 also being a part of this solar eclipse, we're also at the same time being fully freed and liberated from any of the things keeping us trapped and held back and attached to any of the cloudedness of this earthly existence, that there is so much cloudedness and distortion and distractions. So K2 is wanting to free us from any of the programming and conditioning that is not serving us. And while Rahu in Aquarius is also helping us to manifest and create and to expand and to grow, and just bringing so much energy into this whole experience with these eclipses, and just assisting in more fated, destined events to take place. And it is just overall so powerful, but it's also a lot, and it's important to just like be really kind and slow and nurturing to yourselves in this time while shifts are just taking place, and do as many spiritual practices as you feel called to do. It's just a really auspicious time to do more spiritually and to connect more within, and not so much to be trying to do so much in the external world and to create right now. It's more so about setting the intentions and just creating the goals and the vision for yourself, but not so much actually doing and creating right now. But yeah, just setting the intentions to do that. And if you do have really important, significant events on, or you are doing a lot right now, like follow your heart, listen to your heart and your soul, and like we're all unique and different. I'm just saying as a general kind of recommendation for most of us. It also depends on where you have Virgo and Leo in your chart, which is the areas being aspected right now, and to also we all have different like experiences right now depending on where our consciousness is focused upon and where we're at. For whatever reason, we're all very unique individual beings, which is what this eclipse cycle is really emphasizing, is to embrace and honor how special you are because you are so unique and different, and to embrace your quirks and to share that with the world. And that Virgo energy is showing that that can really be healing and can help others. It can be of service to others. And Leo is reminding you to express, to create, to show up, to dance, to play, to laugh, to have fun, to be in love, to enjoy, to connect with others, to be romantic for yourself and with your life and with others, with your partner, and connect with your inner child, love yourself. Yeah. These are just some of the themes that I see coming up for this solar eclipse. I hope that you all have such a beautiful one. I'd love to hear what's been coming up for you all. And yeah, I will see you all in my next video.